Hey there, my name's Drew Brashler, and in this video, I'm going to be teaching you about snippets on the Behringer WING. Now, if you're brand new to my channel, I'm all about helping you feel more confident in your production gear no matter where you're starting from. So let's go ahead and dive in. Now, like I was saying, I'm going to be teaching you about the snippets of the Behringer WING. Now, if you haven't already updated your firmware to firmware 2.0, you'll want to, as is that is one, free, and two, it gives you the functionality that I'm going to be showing you about today. So if you haven't already, make sure to go over to behringer.com/downloads, type in Wing, and then you can download the most recent firmware for free. And you can install that on your console and then have these updated features. So with our Wing, we have our library. So we can go and navigate to this section on our library. And the left-hand side of this is our file browser. And so we can see that I have an internal and I also have a USB. So if you have a USB thumb drive plugged in to your console, you would be able to save and load things from that USB stick. And then we can also add folders and rename things. So for instance, I've already added this folder called Show and November 1st. And so I'm going to go into this. And so I could go and rename my band. So this is going to be the Mojaves. So M-O Mojave. Okay, so we can now see that I just renamed that. So a snapshot on the Behringer WING takes a picture of all of the parameters, every setting, every configuration. We have all of our input and output configurations. All of that is saved on a snapshot. Now, a snippet allows us to save only specific things that we define when we're saving that snippet. So a snapshot takes an entire picture of the board, but a snippet allows us to record specific things. So I have my band 1 here, and I'm wanting to save the fader positions for my first song. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go to snippets, and I'm going to press record. Now, every fader that I adjust, it's going to save the settings of where that fader position was. So say on my song 1, I have my vocal 1 leading this, and maybe it's a guitar-heavy song. So I'm going to go ahead and turn up the guitars, pull the keys and synth down just a little bit, and maybe add in a little bit extra snare. Now, I've only touched 12 faders, but these are the fader settings that I needed to save for this song 1. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and press save, and this is going to be my song 1. And I can press save. And so we can see that we have our song 1. Now, if I was wanting to change my faders for song 2 and maybe my vocal 3 is leading it, I can do that. So I'm going to go ahead and press clear all, and I'm going to then make sure that I have pressed record again, and I'm going to just pull up my fader on my vocal 3 and turn the other vocals down. And that's the only change that I needed to save for my song 2. So I can go ahead and press stop, and I can now save this as song 2. So we can see that I have my song 1, and if I was wanting to load this, I can go ahead and press load, and that's going to load all of these fader positions. And so say I have all of these turned down, I can go ahead and press load, and it will load them back up to the original spot. But notice the acoustic guitar and bass didn't move. And that's because in my song 1, I didn't actually touch these faders. So those are still down at 0, at a negative infinity. So when I saved my song 1, I had it going from my band 1 to my song 1 to my song 2. And so if I was to do that, if I was to load band 1 and then go song 1, that's loaded, and we can see that my acoustic and bass are here. However, if I was to go and load just this song 1, my acoustic guitar and bass are still down at 0. So if you're wanting to record all of your fader positions on the console, the easiest way to do this is to go add items, and I am going to go and set all of my fader positions for my channels. So I'm going to actually set all of these to -10, and I'm going to leave my vocal 1 up at 0. So all of my channels are now at -10, and they are all unmuted. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and scope my fader and my mute, and I am going to go and select all of my channels, including my auxes. So we can see that that's all 48 channels, and I'm just going to press add. So we can see my 96 parameters here, which is fader and mute for all 48 channels that I have. So I'm going to go ahead and save over my song 1. So I'm going to go ahead and press save and save over this. Now at this point, I can go and load up my band 1 and press confirm. And then on my song 1, I'm going to press load, and that will reload all of my fader and mute settings that I had. So I can press confirm, and we can now see that all of my faders are at that -10 with my fader on my vocal 1 up at 0. Now, if I was wanting to change any other things about these channels, I could. So I can go ahead and press clear all on my record, and I'm going to press record again. Now I'm going to adjust the threshold settings of my vocals. So I'm going to go up to my dynamics, and I'm going to adjust my threshold settings a little bit higher. And so when we go back to my library, we can see that I adjusted 4 parameters. But if I was wanting to go even deeper and adjust a lot of things, so for instance, on my vocal, I'm going to go and change and load up a 76 limiter amp. And so let me set this to some of my favorite vocal settings. And that looks about right. So I have set my vocal 1 to have this. I've also updated my vocal 2, 3, and 4 to have my threshold settings changed. So if I was to go back to library, we will notice that there's now 12 parameters that have been saved in this scope. And so now I'm going to go ahead and save this as song 3. But remember, the only things that I adjusted was my compressor settings for these 4 vocals. So if I was to change my fader settings and turn all of them up to 5, and I was to go and load song 3, it's not going to load any fader positions because all that was updated in this song was the threshold settings. So let's go ahead and load up my band 1, and we can go and see that my compressor is still the Wing Dynamics compressor. And if I was to go and load up song 3, we can then go and look and see that my vocal 1 has my 76 limiter amp, as well as my threshold settings being up higher at the -17. Now, I really love the way that Behringer has designed snippets on the Behringer Wing, and it's very simple to just select the things that you want to save and save those as a snippet. And later in another video, I'm going to be talking about show and how we can combine all of this together into a show and be able to just press go and have it recall those different things. Now, one thing to mention about snippets is currently you have an instant recall on our snapshots and our snippets. So if you go and load a snippet, it's going to be an instant recall. So there is no crossfade between these. So if we have a fader position movement that's happening, it's going to happen instantly. So if you are recalling snapshots or snippets, make sure it's in a quiet portion of your set, and that way the audience won't know that you've recalled some different fader settings. I hope this video was helpful for you today. If you do happen to have any questions, make sure to post those in the comment section down below. Also, if there's a video that you're hoping that I would make on the Behringer Wing, or really any of the other mixers that are out there, also put that in the comment section down below, because I'm always reading through those comments to find videos that are going to be helpful for you. If you haven't already, make sure to check out my website at drewbrashler.com. Otherwise, I hope you have a great day.